it was they attacked her, ma'am. It wasn't no physical. They attacked her, ma'am. I mean, it seemed like from my daughter was asleep, ma'am. For all of them to be in that room, and then they come in there like, I don't know, woke up or whatever, the way it seemed like they attacked.
Shanquella Robinson's family and friends came together in North Carolina to rally support and seek justice for the 25-year-old beautician who died while vacationing in Mexico in late October last year. In collaboration with U.S. law enforcers, Mexican authorities have been burning the midnight oil, trying to figure out what happened on the fateful night that left Shanquella unresponsive. But the last news from the neighboring country has left Shanquella's family furious, with reports that the murder charges against Shanquella's friends may soon be dropped. So, is it true that the authorities haven't gathered enough evidence to prosecute Cabo 6, and what has the victim's family said? Let's find out. At the start of the investigation, Mexican authorities ruled that Shanquella Robinson's October 29 death was femicide, a form of gender-based violence. A warrant was issued for her friend, the alleged attacker, and the local prosecutor said the Charlotte native died as a result of direct aggression. A few weeks later, an event on behalf of Shanquella, which took place at Charlotte's Little Rock Ames Zion Church, was put together by the Million Youth March of Charlotte and Salisbury Teen Advisory Board, drawing hundreds of supporters. Shanquella's father, Bernard, spoke out during the event, saying after he saw his daughter's body in the funeral home, he stood there crying like a baby. I sat there and said, "Baby, Daddy will get you justice. All I want is justice," Bernard reportedly said. "I just want the Mexican authorities, the embassy, to do the right thing, make it right, because they came over there on your soil, did what they did, and came back here." A few weeks after those tearful remarks, news reached the family that the charges initially filed against 6 of Shanquella's friends may be dropped due to lack of sufficient evidence, and the family, led by Bernard, are raging with anger and disappointment. The story of Shanquella's death has been beset by confusion. She arrived at the resort city on October 28 with 6 friends to celebrate a birthday. The next day, her mother, Salamander Robinson, told QC and her daughter's friends called to tell her that Shanquella had suddenly passed away. They said she wasn't feeling well. She had alcohol poisoning, Salamander told QCN at the time. She added, each one of the people that was there with her was telling different stories. Shanquella's death certificate, previously obtained by WSOC-TV, said she died from a severe spinal cord injury and atlas subluxation complex, a nervous system dysfunction caused by misalignment of the top cervical vertebrae. Alcohol was not listed on her death certificate, and the possible connection between Shanquella's death and the violent fight, which was captured on video, was unclear. The young woman's mother told The Independent that she hasn't heard from any of her daughter's 6 travel companions since the autopsy report came out. And after having clearly shown signs of guilt, it will be utterly heartbreaking for the Robinsons to find out that Mexico is dropping the charges against the same people who murdered their daughter. It would even be more painful after initially being told arrests are about to be made. A few weeks ago, upon hearing an arrest warrant had been issued in the case, Salamander told ABC News, "I feel so good. That's a good feeling. That's what we have been waiting for someone to finally be held accountable and arrested. I just can't wait for justice to be served." It is also believed that the doctor involved in the chaos most likely covered the dirt of the Cabo 6 after getting paid by Shanquella's friends. She was initially part of the suspects list, but it is now being said that the Mexican authorities have since dropped their interest in the doctor. Information from a police report says Shanquella was alive when medical help first arrived at the vacation home where she was staying with a group of people in Cabo, Mexico. The report differs from details previously reported from 25-year-old Shanquella's death certificate that said she died within 15 minutes of being injured. Instead, a police report excerpt shows a doctor from a local hospital was with her and others in the house for close to 3 hours before she was pronounced dead. This only means one thing: as a professional, trained and certified, the doctor did not do the right thing. It was up to her to decide whether Shanquella should move to the hospital and not her friends. Having given in to their demands means the doctor is part and parcel of the cover-up and, therefore, should also face criminal charges. Our sources obtained excerpts from a police report that had not yet been publicly released. The information was provided by Gerardo Zuniga, an investigative reporter who works in Los Cabos. Notably, the police information reported by and provided to our sources does not mention obvious signs of Shanquella's physical injuries, which family members have said existed on her body prior to her burial. Grave injuries to her back and neck were determined to be the cause of death after an autopsy by officials in Mexico. The police report says she also suffered cardiac arrest. It is shocking how the doctor who attended to her did not write all these in her report. Therefore, Bernard and other family members are right to blast everyone involved in the investigations. Since Shanquella's death, the FBI and Mexican police authorities have launched investigations into how she died. The lack of conclusive evidence and conflicting explanations has led to her story going viral, invoking global outcry with countless people closely following the model's death. The hashtag Justice for Shanquella has been trending on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Shanquella's family, led by her father, Bernard, and mother, Salamandra, became suspicious of her friend's claims that she died of alcohol poisoning when a Mexican autopsy report showed that her cause of death was severe spinal cord injury and atlas luxation. Hearing that the doctor is also involved in the cover-up will further crush their hopes of getting justice for their daughter. The information from the police report shows that at 2:13 p.m. on October 29, medical help was summoned to Villa Linda 32, a property run by the company Cabo Villas, located in San Jose del Cabo. Around an hour later, Dr. Carolina Beatriz Ornelas Gutierrez of the American Medical Center, a local hospital, arrived to treat Shanquella. House calls to vacation rentals for routine non-emergency medical services are common in tourist hubs in Mexico. It is unclear in the police report excerpt who called for medical help, but the reporting person is listed as Winter Donovan of Greensboro. Donovan is one of 6 people identified by family, friends, and media sources as a person Shanquella was traveling with. The victim's father, Bernard Robinson, previously told TMZ that he believed the attack on her daughter was a setup because she was not one to get involved in fights. They attacked her, man. This ain't like some story. My daughter was asleep, man. For all them to be in that room and then, they come in there like no she woke up or whatever, the way it seems like they attacked her, man, an emotional Robinson told the outlet. And she make it bad, for a father. To see that video, man, cause my daughter's not a fighter, man. She's not a fighter, not at all, the grieving father said, speculating that his daughter was killed in a premeditated attack. For them to do what they did, man, it just seems like they were plot. They couldn't have done that over here where her friends, all her friends are. It wouldn't have gone down like that, man, he told the outlet. They just put a hole in my heart, man. That was my only child. I'm just heartbroken, man, he reportedly said through tears. I can't even be a granddaddy. Can't even walk her down the aisle, man. The heartbroken dad continued, saying, they left her there, man. They left her in that house. They left her there for the maid to find her. Don't you know how much pain my daughter suffered? The injuries, that she took, she's a small little something, small little frame, man, he added. I just want justice, man. I'm just angry, hurt, sad. In yet another interview, Shanquella's dad reiterated his need to seek justice for his daughter. As a father just sitting here knowing she suffered, and I couldn't do nothing for her, and I couldn't protect her, Bernard told WCNC Charlotte. That's what my plan was. She'll bury me, not me burying her. She had her whole life ahead of her. She didn't deserve this, Bernard added. I'm not going to let her die in vain. Robinson said he wants more than justice. He wants answers. She was so full of life, he said, I just want to know why. We can't just imagine what he feels knowing the charges against those responsible for her daughter's death may be dropped. Still, we hope justice will prevail. And that's it from us today. Until next time, bye.